Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. We're taking a quick look here at Bitcoin, seeing what's going on. A nice little increase there. We're kind of breaking through that the upper level there. We talked yesterday about how important it was to kind of break free of the cloud, which we are trying to do so right now. While we don't have full-on confirmation, it's definitely looking much more promising than yesterday. So we're going to look at this, smaller midterm timeframes. We'll get perspective on the larger timeframes too, but more important, kind of focus on the back-end data here and kind of see what's going on. So if you're new to the channel, thanks again for watching. Hope you can learn something here today. Make sure you jump on over to our Bitunix exchange, phenomenal exchange. Thank you again so much for the opportunity. No KYC, no VPN, extremely good benefit rewards, and fast, reliable exchange. I really, really like them a lot. So let's see here. We're going to talk a little bit about the back end. Let's jump right into that first and kind of work our way down. And just to kind of quickly note, we got some low leverage liquidation levels at about 35,200, and the same thing here as well for shorts, about 38,100. Not much has changed. That's really not that new. We do have, again, newer levels at 35.2, but again, those are lower leverage levels, so not really that big of a deal. We're probably not going to see a massive movement at that price point. What we do want to note too, though, is that we've got more longs than shorts opening in the market in the last 24 hours. So across multiple exchanges, we can see here that this is kind of a commonplace, right? And the last time we had this, an extra amount of longs, we saw the price action come all the way up to that 38,000 range before, okay? So just keep in mind, we could very well see the price action continue higher with the extra interest in longs and ultimately more volume coming in. We actually have more volume in the last 24 hours than we did the last 48 hours, which is interesting. It's kind of a weekend, right? So not super common, but it's kind of the way the market's shifting now. It's kind of cool. All right, so what that basically just tells us here is that with open interest, if we take a look at this here, we can kind of see 36,400 is like the most amount of positions focused right now. That's like the price point that people were waiting to try to get into, either long or short. And at this point, if we take a look at longs, there's a good chance we got some longs at that level. There's some late longs here too. Ugh, breakout traders, what are you doing? 36,800. There's a lot of late longs here now. But for the most part, the majority of the longs, both opened and closed, are right here at about 36,400. So that's kind of tells us that that was that price point. Remember, if you saw yesterday's video, I talked about closing above 36.5 being really important. So a lot of folks just kind of bought in right there, hoping the price action would go a little bit higher. Now this is interesting. Taking a look at the liquidation levels, we can see there's a lot more liquidation levels entering at about 39,500. Sorry, 39,900. And you're probably asking yourself, how is that possible? Well, it's not necessarily that is the place in which they're entering. That's basically just where their liquidation levels are, because they're probably heavy on the shorts up there at about 37,000. And with low leverage, you'll see a lot more shorts kind of go further away. Again, the closer and tighter these things are, the more leverage is being used. Okay? So it's actually good. I'm happy to see that there's lower leverage here. Kind of further out, it tells us that we're getting some confidence in either direction. But as you can kind of see, both sides of the story here are looking to be very I guess competitive, if you will. There's equal amount of longs as there are shorts as far as liquidation levels are concerned. That's kind of a good sign, really. You want to kind of be right in that little range. If we take a look here at the daily, let's work our way down really quick. Kind of touch on a couple of things here. First of all, we got a pretty bearish last few days, and then yesterday was a nice little green candle for a change. We were averaging ourselves out between 50 and 70 on the RSI. That's a perfect place to be. That truly implies that we are not bearish whatsoever. We're still on the right side of tracks. So even though the price could potentially come down further, we still have some supports in that range. We can also see the MACD is diverging, but not fully diverged. And if we take a look at a few other key factors, not a lot of liquidity or anything in the larger time frames because the price hasn't moved that much. We don't have a lot of candle wicks, so to speak. Smaller time frames will identify that, but we're still maintaining above the 20-day SMA and running concurrent with this ascending trend. So again, fantastic stuff there. Definitely looking really good. And then if we take a quick look at volume here, we can still see we have the largest amount of volume at about 34,500. So again, if the price does come down to that 34,000 range, we should expect 34.5 to provide some support for us. Okay? But the second most amount of volume, by the way, is 36,500, exactly that same level we see the most open interest on as well. Okay, so some things just to be mindful of on the back end. We take a look at the 4-hour here. Let's go ahead and just clear the chart a little bit and kind of see here. We got some liquidity here. Of course, this upper level, there's still a large liquidity gap here at about 38,000, but a much larger one down at 34,900 to that 35,400 range. Okay, so we got like a $500 gap down on the bottom here. There is a fair value gap just above the current price action, so a lot of times the price will wick up into that area and come back down. We might even see something along these lines where we sweep both upper and lower liquidity and fair value levels. If we take a look at TD sequential, we can see we are at a 6 right now, giving us roughly the indication that we got another 12 to 24 hours of potential continuation of the upside without retracement. And then, of course, if we take a look at the moving averages, we're kind of hanging out right there at the 50, the 20, and above the 200 and the 100. So this is truly a bullish sign, but by no stretch is this like confirmed, right? We just barely broke above the moving averages. We're not like, it's not like everyone go long because of this, right? Breakout traders might think different, but in this situation, it's definitely important to kind of hurry up and wait, if you will. Just bear in mind, again, 36,500 is the tentative support based on volume. 0.5 in Fibonacci, as I mentioned previously, is an important level too. So I did mention yesterday, a closure above 36.5 would be extremely important, which we closed right at that level. So it's a pretty good sign, okay? Hourly, last but not least, we did talk about this earlier, but we'll just quickly summarize here that we are tentatively above the cloud. I wouldn't say we've officially broken above. Conversion line is above the baseline, and lagging span's kind of sort of free. So this is mostly positive here. This does imply that taking a long position may actually be viable at this point. Just keep in mind it's a weekend. I don't typically like to trade Bitcoin on the weekends. Our scalping bot is trading, Solana and Avalanche pretty heavy. We took some nice profits there earlier today, about a couple of hours ago. And I think we also took some profits on Ethereum, and we have an Ethereum position open as well. So again, cool stuff there. We took some nice profits, almost 3 months, took 80% ARPA. That's a little longer than we'd like to wait for. But the truth is, Gala, we took 30% in 4 hours. So it kind of averaged itself out, right? So again, good trading days there for us. Thanks again for the wonderful feedback from my community. And if you're curious, we do have a few slots left available. CryptoCash.tech is a site for our Premium Plus. Be sure to check that out. Usually holidays, we have to restrict the amount of new users just so we have more one-on-one attention with you guys. But that's all we have here for us. Please like the video, subscribe, follow, all that wonderful stuff. Jump on over to social media there with Twitter, Telegram, and Discord, and get to know our traders and help grow the communities too. Deeply appreciate your support though. Thanks again so much for your time. We'll look forward to seeing the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.